Welcome back to Unbridled and Entitled. My name's Russ Flicker, and here's my co-host, Lori Rothman.
It's great to be with you again, Russ. How you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm doing great. And before we get started, it probably makes sense to make sure everyone here is in the right place. So let's start off by saying you have a Christmas vacation coming up. If you're packing up your little kids, dreading the trip, and you call it a family trip and not a vacation, you're probably in the wrong spot.
Point. On the other hand, if your holiday plans involve a little travel here, a little travel there, maybe a boondoggle, no clear time frame or itinerary, you're just going to wing it. No guarantee even that your kids, your college kids, are even going to want to see you or have time to see you, then you're definitely in the right place. And welcome back to Unbridled and Entitled, everybody.
Totally. That's so funny. Yeah, the kids are like, how long are we going away for? And do I have time with my friends?
Priorities, man.
I remember one funny element of our local high school is parents were up in arms some years when the calendar comes out and they don't feel like they have enough downtime in a row, a 2-week holiday, and the parents get very, very engaged.
So it's interesting because I was one of those parents who advocated for a 2-week holiday break. Because now I don't think I'm a helicopter parent, which makes me probably the worst kind of helicopter parent, but I needed a break from all of the homework, extracurricular activities, cooking, driving, all that good stuff. So I don't know. I mean, did you fill up all of that time when your kids were in school?
No. Don't get me wrong. I love the 2-week break when you can have it. Now, the funny part is when the break happens and everyone's home and you're not away, it can be extra effort. Kids are sleeping late, leaving stuff everywhere, chaos. Maybe they want you to entertain them when they're younger. But when they're older, you don't even see them. They're sleeping late. They grab the car. They're out of the house completely. And it really is a break for the parents.
Right. So I don't know, 2 weeks, we're coming up to it. We're here in the fall. It's late November as we tape this. So what's it going to be this year with the kids in college?
Well, it's funny. I'd say because I've got my daughter's a junior and my son is a freshman, we feel like we only have a couple of windows left. I'm assuming once my daughter is working, she may not give us that much time. And so, we've got this December and next December as sort of the big family trips before one of our kids is working and may have limits. So we are going away, but although not for 2 weeks, we're going away for maybe about a week. And then certainly my kids will have their downtime with their friends before and after the family trip.
And apparently time to trash their house too.
I'll get down. I wake up hours before everybody. By the time they wake up, I'm exhausted. And then they take the car and I don't see them.
That's it. That's kind of perfect. So my kids are well traveled. I know you guys have traveled a lot. And this was my husband's idea that we should get these kids on airplanes as young as possible. So my 2 daughters are in high school now, just a couple of years younger than your kids. And his mindset was, let's show them as much of the world as we can. Let's take them on activities, surfing and skiing, so that when they grow up and they realize how expensive it is to do these things, they'll want to spend time with us.
Like a heroin dealer.
Not quite. That's not where I was going with it. But my senior in high school, actually, it's just starting to we got our first snow this week. And so she's actually went off to try and ski today. And it's like, I have some money. And I'm like, all right. But no, I mean, to get her to want to spend time with us, if we foot the bill, I mean, maybe it's a little transparent or pathetic, but it works. I mean, our teenage daughters kind of want us around when it comes to going on some of these great vacations.
I'm totally with you. The worst thing that could happen is that your children ultimately have a spouse whose family is much wealthier and has much better vacations.
No, I hope for that because, then they'll bring us along, right?
Oh, I like
the in-laws.
I like it. That's a good thought.
Do you think that your kids would advocate to have you and Lisa come along? Or would it be?
I think we might need to be nicer to them. I feel like
exactly.
I didn't even think about that. Wow.
Right. All these strategies.
As soon as they start dating someone whose family is really wealthy, you start leaning in, honey, You look great. You're such a great kid. You've always been such a great kid.
I don't know. I just, at this point, you just want them to be happy, to find the right path in life. I'm not asking for too much. I don't think my mind is quite there, but that is definitely something to hold on to and to hope for as we continue down this path. So definitely looking forward to the holiday season, spending time with the kids and our extended family. But then it's winter. And the truth is these days, I kind of prefer the cooler weather. It's much more comfortable for me at this stage of life. I'm looking forward to sort of January, February, March even. It'll be cooler. The days are a little shorter. I can be in my pajamas by 8 o'clock at night. I don't know.
The problem with the cold weather, though, is the darkness. The darkness is so early. I mean, it's dark when you wake up. It's dark when you go to sleep. You don't mind that?
Oh, I relish it. It's helpful. You're not a middle-aged woman. You cannot appreciate it.
That is true.
There is nothing better than having an excuse to get your PJs on early, curl up with a cup of tea, just be home. There's no pressure that the kids' activities sort of slow down, right, in the winter. It's really a lovely time. Don't you think, or no?
I feel like.
Are you a seasonal affective disorder victim?
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's something there. I mean, it starts to get dark and cold. And look, November and December is fine because there's holidays. It's the fall. It's exciting. But I think come January, February, where it's still dark and it's super cold, it can be a little bit depressing for some people.
You've clearly not bought into the early bird special or bingo night. Like, I'm there. Like, I'm in the retirement community. I cannot wait. I don't want to wish time away, right? Because we're still in the throes of raising our kids and family time. But I'm really excited for hope. Oh my gosh. I pray for health and happiness for retirement. I really do.
Well, it's funny. We're in this weird age right now where both our kids, ourselves, and even our parents, if they're still with us, could be medicated. Everyone could be medicated. It's weird.
Well, that's kind of how, if you want to get back to family vacations, I mean, it took a lot of crappy family vacations for us all to figure out that's the recipe. Just medicate everybody. It's so interesting. The cold weather. I grew up in Southern California, right, where there was one season. And I do prefer the 4 seasons here in the Northeast because it helps me pin my memories to whatever season happens to be. It's almost like a visual memory that I have. And I really do love it. I hear what you're saying, though, about it being a little slower, a little boring. Do you not feel like your friends, i.e. us, like want to hang out and go out and do things?
No, we do. You know what? We're lucky that we have that group of friends that wants to do things. But to your point, we all kind of want to huddle up a little bit, want to nest a little bit in the winter. And by the way, one of our favorite things we got in our house, we had a fireplace that was in a room that wasn't really used that often. And we got one of these wood burning stoves put in our kind of main family room. And I will tell you, we look forward to making fires there when it's cold enough because it's so cozy and it's warm inside and cold outside. It is like a nesting kind of a thing. But you're right. We're lucky to have friends want to go out and enjoy also. But it's just something about the darkness. I don't know.
Well, and not for nothing. I know that there's a pickleball game that you and my husband play like 5 times a week. It started once a week and now it seems like it's every freaking day. So, and I know there's an indoor court that you found. So I really just don't want to hear the complaining about it's dark and it's cold and the days are short and it's so depressing.
I mean, walking between the car and the pickleball court sometimes is very chilly.
Take some vitamin D supplements and shut up. Okay, so I was reading in the UK Daily Mail, and I don't know if they actually wrote this article, but I was so offended by it, like talking about the cold weather. They were advising ladies that they need to winterize their private parts. I was so upset by that. It's so sexist. It's assuming that we are all just frigid and old and cold. And let me tell you, not to make you uncomfortable, but women do this year round. Like, we take very good care of ourselves. We are always like ready for action. Like,
I'm going to be honest with you.
A man definitely thought of this article, and it's such blatant clickbait.
I'm going to be honest with you. First of all, winterizing your vagina, I will say, is clickbait, I assume, for women. I don't know that, like, my first reaction if I see that article is I need to know how that is done.
Okay.
I don't know. I certainly don't. I don't know. I don't know
You
how
can't
you
even
winterize.
find the words. You're
I
like at a
can't.
loss.
I
It's so
can't.
uncomfortable. It
It
is.
is.
And not to be left out, the New York Post, like I'm really now giving away what I like to read in the morning. The UK Daily Mail and the New York Post had a thing about older men who suffer from erectile dysfunction and have circulation issues really also need to be worried about the winter and having that make it even worse. And I'm like, wasn't that always the joke when you were a kid? You jumped into a cold swimming pool. Like everybody knows that happens.
Well, I'll tell you, for our listeners, Lori shares these articles with me. Sometimes I'm at work and I'm like,
not
you have winter
no. I
penis?
send them around to everybody.
You have winter penis? And I'm like, hey, I can't really discuss that right now. And I'm not sure what that is. Anyway, it was an article about winter penis. And it reminds me of
that new?
Seinfeld.
That is not new. Shrinkage.
I have, apparently, Matt Gaetz on Bumble says he's a 4-season penis. So that's lucky. That's lucky.
Oh, not funny. I still can't get over his eyebrows at the Republican convention.
They're crazy. Oh, and you know what? In today's world of polarization, it's nice to know that Democrats and Republicans can agree we hate Matt Gaetz.
Oh my gosh. Well, speaking of government, I know you sent an article about aliens in Congress. Or do you want to expand on that? What was that about?
I love that you call it aliens in Congress. And there may be aliens in Congress based on
you know what? I misspoke, and I know that's a really loaded topic right now, but I actually meant aliens from other worlds. And there have been sightings and evidence.
And my joke was about aliens in other worlds as congressmen also.
Right.
Because they act so crazy. So maybe they are from another world. But yeah, there are congressional hearings about aliens where serious people, are discussing how for decades they have had proof of extraterrestrial ships, beings. And what's fascinating to me is we as Americans and across the globe see this and we're like, yeah. And then we swipe to winterize your penis. I mean, we're not even shocked. I mean, we're like, yeah, what did you learn about today?
Seen it all, heard it all. So when you sent me that article about the aliens in Congress, you know what I thought of? Did you ever watch the Twilight Zone?
Sure.
The episode To Serve Man. And
I don't recall.
A spaceship, basically the premise is, I'll tell you quickly, the spaceship lands on Earth and they send around a pamphlet, and of course it's in their alien language, and the humans decipher the title, and it says, or decode the title, and it says, To Serve Man. That's the title. And all the humans think like, oh, they've come and it's a friendly visit. They want to befriend us and work with us. But then the decoders do more and realize that it's a cookbook to serve man. So that's what I'm originally
so we'll
thought
leave
of.
You on that happy note that the aliens coming here may just believe that in any season, we're delicious.
We're delicious. What else you got? What else hit your desk this week? And I hope, by the way, that these articles weren't popping up while you were doing like a PowerPoint presentation in front of all the people that you work with.
No, don't worry. I have gotten to the place
where penis.
As we're sharing, there are certain people, there are groups of high school friends and Lori who I have to hide alerts on just in case I open it up.
Wait. You have
I
my
do not hide
on.
your alerts. Don't worry. I get your alerts. Don't worry. And it's lucky because whatever you send me, it's not like Lisa's going to look over my shoulder like, what is Lori sending you? She's like, oh, what's Lori sending you? This is great. Is it something funny? No. I'll say the last point I'd make, which is I think so important for as we age, and you and I are just so fortunate, is to have friends who do want to go out and have fun and find hobbies and try different things. And we
play pickleball 20 times a week and leave their wives behind. Anyway.
But traveling, going on interesting trips, going to listen to music, going to whatever it is, all different things. And I'm up for anything, but I think trying to continue to keep yourself active and social, because, look, 50 and 60 are that's like that's the new 30 and 40. I mean, it's like
Totally.
we're young. Our kids are getting older, and you have to, take the bull by the horns.
Well, look, I give you a lot of credit because you tend to be the leader in our friend group and you come up with all the great ideas and fun activities. But it's not as easy as you're saying it is because a lot of times you have people that are really bossy or kind of like control freaks and they can't just go with the flow. Like it's hard to find the right chemistry. And I don't know if you just like whipped everyone into shape, like warned them, like, you know, did something, but, our friend group gets along really well. And I think that it's nice how everybody is just, they just sort of let you call the shots and talk about you behind your back. And it just really works.
The way God intended. Look, I
Mhm.
say that I'm sure there's elements of that, but there's so many A personality types.
Mhm.
And I do think that what we do try to do is, hey, if this is your thing, I'm gonna like, let's you take the lead and I'm gonna run with it. If it's my thing, etc. And we have a great friend group, so many interesting and fun people, and I love being just a participant. Sometimes I'm the leader, sometimes you're the leader.
Like,
It's
do
a,
you know that we talk about you behind your back
I
when
can
we're
only
like,
assume.
Russ is out of his mind. We're going to a bar at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Who does he think we are?
Well,
But
I'm
then, but
sure
then we roll in like, fantastic. So good to be
I have
here.
no doubt. As I've told my kids, if
Yeah,
you're like laughing in a little chat with only two friends of a 4-person friend group, what do you think? There's another chat out there that
totally,
you're not
totally,
in,
totally.
but it's all good fun. And I have no doubt you do that. Hopefully that's the
Yeah.
worst thing you
No,
said.
we do. We have a whole like side chat of the wives that
Good.
parallels I shouldn't even share this. Damn,
Do you
I
think we
shouldn't
don't
have.
have a side chat of the husbands?
Well, no. So I do know, but it's ridiculous and it's all stupid jokes and guttural humor. You guys may as well be 14-year-old middle school boys as opposed to middle-aged, you professional men who are many of you leaders in your field, I will say. But it's incredible how you still manage to evolve into those little boys. So
Well, Lori,
let's just say you bring out the best in each other.
the best or the worst or both, depending on your perspective. The funny thing is, there are a couple of these things going around where it looks like an article of something interesting, but when you click on it, there's a preposterous, possibly pornographic, whatever, something that comes up. It has all different forms, and so, but the men's chat often, someone will send something, and if you're working and you're not thinking, wait a minute, this is Mike Kaplan, I got to be careful, or
Mhm,
whoever.
mhm,
If you're not
mhm.
careful, you're in a meeting and you're like, oh, that's an interesting article. Click, and you're like, oh, sorry, that's I should, write alerts.
Unbelievable. You guys. No, but it's a great thing and we're having a great time and we're really lucky. So it could be it's not easy having teenage stuff. We're kind of like my older daughter will be 18 in a couple months. My younger daughter's 15. So I've got one about to be like technically an adult and one about to drive. And it's just, oh, so thank God for good friends who are so supportive and we can commiserate with. And, you know, the last time we went out and we came home, my came home and the garage door was like hanging off. Like, okay, we're just okay.
As we,
All in perspective. No one was hurt.
that's right. Most
It was
importantly, and
$200 to fix the garage. So, could have been worse.
there are worse things. And as we shared, we all have very, great kids who are balanced and smart and fun and hopefully will find happiness most importantly. But they've all gone through and had hiccups along the way, I can assure you, through middle school and high school and funny and not so funny hiccups as kids are supposed to have, as we had when we were kids. And so it doesn't define them, but we're lucky that they're all kind of navigating.
So let me ask you then, how would you have reacted? Because Mike didn't tell me. So we were gone all day Saturday. He knew at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon that my daughter ripped the garage door opener, like the frame out of the side of the door. But he said, you know what? She's going to hit the roof. So I am not going to tell her. I didn't find out until we pulled in later. And for the damage. And he was like very chill about it. And I was more ticked off that he didn't tell me, but my husband was right to know that it would have completely torpedoed my Saturday night. So I don't know. Would you have been chill? Would you have been
I
like,
think, well, I'm typically not the chill one. That's
hey,
true. I am very high stress, but I do think he gave you a gift because you couldn't have done anything to change it, right? It was under control from afar to the extent it could be under control, and better that you didn't have to
sure.
stress about it. And so that's positive. I think, what can you do about it? So from that perspective,
Meanwhile, it was hysterical because I did notice Mike drank a little more than he normally does that night. And I was like, I think you're done. He's like, no, let's stay out past midnight again. You know, this is the age we're at. Like, for me, a night till 11 is like really pulling out all the stops. So it's sort of funny now in hindsight, kind of how everything unfolded. But you're right. All right, it was a gift. Mike gave me a present, spared me.
and those should be the worst things that ever happen, where everyone's safe and healthy.
Oh, I know.
We have to let the kids start to grow up a little bit on their own, because soon they'll be off on their own, right? So, but your kids are great. Your girls are going to be ready.
Well, do you ever have this question? Who's going to take care of us when we're in the nursing home? Like, I really don't know. Between my two daughters, I know that they'll feign care and concern and compassion, but will they actually enact and take care?
This comes back to the earlier conversation about great trips. I think we have to be really nice to them to make sure, like, we're at the stage now where,
spoil them rotten and don't let them forget it, because one day, payback. Oy.
On that note, hey, I'll just tell you, Penny, Aubrey, Molly, Ben, we love you. You guys are great. We're proud of you. And don't ever forget that decades from now.
Decades from now, from your mouth to God's ears, all good things. This was super fun. And don't forget, everybody, we still have our comedy show coming up.
Yes. We'd be remiss if we didn't also mention that February 8th, Saturday, February 8th, we have a show in the JCC Theater. The two shows that night, a 7 o'clock show and a 9 o'clock show. You buy tickets right online, all for charity. And the ticket price, in addition to the money going for charity, includes beer or wine. And we've got 9 local comics. So hope you can make that also.
And Russ is our host and MC, and he's terrific. A lot of fun. You really nail that role. It's so cool. It's a lot of heavy lifting. I mean, we comics just roll in and do 10 minutes or whatever, and we're done. And you're doing it for 2 hours. Like,
that's all she does is 10 minutes. Listen, Lori is a fan favorite, I can assure you. So anyway, come see her, and I do these shows.
I think that just about wraps it up for this episode. This has been great. A lot of fun.
Great fun. Looking forward to seeing you next time. Thanks so much, Lori. This was great.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye, everybody.